This is the steak that changed my life, and today I'm going to show you how to make it. Horns up and welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen, folks. If you know me, you know I love a good steak. Do you love a good steak? If you do, let me know in the comments below. Now, I think I've been cooking steak wrong my entire life because a couple of days ago I tried something called the reverse sear method and the results just blew my mind. I could not believe how delicious that steak turned out. I even posted pictures online and you guys saw it and said, Sahil, make a video, show us how to do the reverse sear method. So that's what I'm here to do today. Let's go and cook some steak. I've got this nice ribeye steak that I'm using. This technique works best with thick cut steaks, so any steak that's an inch or thicker is ideal. A tomahawk steak, a T-bone, a ribeye, a filet mignon, they are all great choices. For this to be successful, you will need a meat thermometer with a probe. This one is from IKEA that costs about $15, but you can get fancier ones which are wireless and have multiple probes even. Anyway, for me this will do. I will leave a link to purchase this in the video description box. The first thing I do is get my steak out of the bag and put it on some paper towels to dry. Ideally, you'd like your steak to be at room temperature as well. Then I get a baking tray with a wire rack and I place my steak on that. Then I get some butcher string and just tie that around my steak. I do this because it helps the steak to keep its shape. Then I will season my steak with salt and pepper on both sides, and you can do this the day before and keep it overnight in your fridge. That is called dry brining a steak. But today I just want to focus on the reverse sear, so I'm not doing that. Anyway, once I'm done, I'll just let the steak sit while the oven preheats. I'm going to preheat my oven to 120 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Once it's heated, I will just take the probe of the thermometer and stick it into the side of the steak till the pointy end is at the center. This way I will get an accurate temperature reading of the middle of the steak. I set the thermometer to 52 degrees Celsius, which is the internal temperature I am looking for since I want to cook my steak to medium. Of course, if you want yours rare or well done, the temperature will be different. I'll put all the information on the blog post on headbangerskitchen.com. Then I pop that steak in the oven and just let it cook till it comes to temperature. This process will easily take 30 to 40 minutes because it's a very gradual cook. The steak is going to look grey and unappealing as well because there is no high heat for the Maillard reaction. Anyway, once the temperature is hit and the thermometer goes beep beep, it's time to remove the steak from the oven. Now get your pan on the stove and I'm using a cast iron skillet, and my steak has a bit of fat on the side, so I place the fat side down in the pan and allow the fat to render. This way I don't need any oil to sear my steak. Of course, if your steak doesn't have fat like that, use some avocado oil. Once some of that fat has rendered, I place my steak down in the pan and put a bit of pressure on it using a spatula so that I get an even sear. Many people like to use a steak or a sandwich press to put some weight on it. Anyway, cook it for about 30 to 45 seconds on a ripping hot heat. Flip the steak over and now you should have a nice crust on it. Do the same thing for the second side, and once I got a nice sear, I remove it from the pan and place it back on the rack to rest. I will cover it with foil and now just leave it alone for 5 to 10 minutes. It's very important to rest your steak. Time for the main event. It's time to cut that steak after it's rested, and it just cuts through like butter, and you can see the color of that steak. It's perfectly cooked, it's perfectly medium, and that is one good looking steak. Just look at how juicy it is. Now there's nothing left to do but enjoy some B-roll before we taste the steak. Anyway, enjoy. Alright folks, it's time to taste the steaks, and look who's joining me in the kitchen today. It's my beautiful wife, Dipti. It's been a while, okay, since you've been here.
It has, it's true.
And well, reverse sear steak. So you've had this before, obviously.
I have.
And
it's blown my mind.
Yeah, we're both converted to the reverse sear method.
I must say, I was fed the regular pan fried steak while he had the reverse grilled steak.
Yes, but then
so this is his
redemption.
making up for it.
Okay, so shall we dig in?
Yeah.
All right, let's get a piece.
Any specific piece or? Oh.
I don't know, I just felt like.
He's gaming it. Okay. He's rigging the contest.
Cheers.
Oh man.
It's like butter.
It's just, what makes this so different?
I think the slow cooking just helps it break down the tissue a bit better, and it just cooks so evenly all across.
There's none of that gristle, none of that chew that you get from a normal steak where you're never sure if it's going to be tough or not.
And especially
It's so
since
juicy and oh my god.
since we're not eating prime, USDA grade or Wagyu or,
But this could pass for a prime steak after reverse searing.
well, we have found the technique.
This is the holy grail of steak cooking, guys.
Awesome. So I guess Dipti has given the reverse sear the horns up. I'm in agreement. I think I will only cook my steaks like this. However, unfortunately, you do need time for this because it takes about 30 to 40 minutes in the oven. So if you got time, this is definitely the way you should be cooking your steaks.
All good things take time.
That is true. Anyway, on that note, we're going to go and finish this steak, and I'll see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Until then, cheers and keep cooking. Hey folks, a big thank you to everyone who supports me on my Patreon and here on the YouTube channel memberships. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for your support. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon or on the YouTube channel memberships, the links are in the video description box just below this video. Anyway, keep watching more Headbangers Kitchen videos.